Starting it up here in just a minute. Got a late start because of technical difficulties. You know how it goes. Ad should start here in about 3 seconds, and then after that, we'll get started. All right, is it working? I'm not even sure anymore. I've had so many technical issues trying to get this stream fired up. I decided this week, hey, let's try out 2 more streams this week, and then let's make up for last week since I didn't do one, and let's up the complexity. Let's have everything break, and there you go. Bob's your uncle. And it's really dark on my face because I can't get one of the lights to work. It pooped out, so I guess I got to replace that. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fine. Today's been a long day. Last week was an S show, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so we're back, though. It's Whiskey Wednesday. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited that you're joining me. I'm a little lower energy, so we need to bring that back up. We need to bring it up, all right? One way to do that is to talk about what we're drinking tonight, and hopefully I see it. What are we drinking? We're drinking this stuff right here, Four Roses, because it's like Valentine's month or something. That just happened. So it's belated Valentine's now, but it's February. It's also Poetry Month, which is what we're going to be reading tonight, and I'm excited about that. Let's get a little shot here on the overhead cam arena of this pour. Four Roses. It's good stuff. If you're reading in the chat there, gives a little description of it. It's just, this isn't like a super expensive bottle or anything. It's just the cheapo. $20, bottle of Four Roses. It's good though. You can't go wrong with it. They're single barrel, really good. And as they go up from there, they get, better. And not to say that one's bad at all, because it's great. It's great. It's absolutely fantastic, and I am looking forward to this drink. Cheers, stream. Cheers. Tonight's readings. God, that's good. Tonight's readings, lots of poetry. So since we skipped last week, we're going to jump in and we're going to read poetry from last week as well as this week. So we got a lot of poetry to go through, which is freaking awesome. A lot of people have been contributing to the Discord page, which is the same page, Discord. A lot of poets on there, fantastic writers, fantastic poetry. I'm excited to read a lot of this, and I'm learning a lot about just poetry kind of in general too, which is great. There's a lot of terms and things that I didn't even know they're like structures of poems. Remember like haikus and sonnets and that type of thing. I remember like the basics of it, but it's been so long since I even thought about any of that I had to look up a lot of it. So I'm going to share it with you. So maybe you might not know some of the structures of these things. So let's go into it, shall we? They're in no specific order. I just kind of jotted them down as I was looking them up, but there's some terms we should go over and some structures, so it'll make more sense when we get to them. And maybe, if I'm not clearly identifying what this is this sestina, or is this an alliterative verse? That's kind of hard to say. You can identify it, right? So that'll be kind of fun to kind of play along. So let's just kind of go through some of these things before we jump into the booth. A sestina is a structured poetic form consisting of 6 stanzas of 6 lines each, followed by a 3-line envoy, or a final stanza. Instead of rhyming, sestinas use a pattern of repeating N-words in a specific, intricate sequence. Cool. So how some of these are structured, and you don't have to follow the prompts, but there's like a prompt for every week for 5 days of the week, Monday through Friday, if you will, or however you want to kind of interface with that. And, suggestions are given and some prompts are given of what poems you could write, for this particular week in February. So one of them was, hey, write yourself a poem and make it a sestina. What the heck is a sestina? Well, now you know. It's a structured poetic form consisting of 6 stanzas of 6 lines each, followed by a 3-line final stanza. All right, so next up we have the really hard one, an alliterative verse. It's a style of poetry that relies on alliteration, surprise, surprise, which is, if you don't know, the repetition of initial consonant sounds. So rather than rhyme to structure its lines, it uses that, right? So this form was common in Old English and Middle English poetry, such as Beowulf and Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. So some features of alliterative verse are alliteration, obviously. So each line typically has at least 2 stressed words that begin with the same consonant sound. Caesura, or caesura, however you say that, which means a pause. Lines are often divided into 2 halves by a pause, called a caesura? I think it's a caesura. And then 4 stressed syllables per line. So each half line generally consists or contains 2 stressed syllables, and it's therefore unrhymed, right? So unlike the later poetic forms, it doesn't really rely on that rhyming scheme. It's alliteration, right? That makes sense. And as we get into them, you'll be like, oh yeah, alliteration, right? I love alliteration personally, so I'm going to really enjoy reading those. It's just, I don't know, it's something that like tickles my fancy. So limericks, we'll be seeing some of those. We'll be reading through some of those tonight. A limerick is a type of humorous, often nonsensical poem with a distinct rhythm and rhyme scheme. So the structure of a limerick could be 5 lines, and the typical scheme would be rhyming in a pattern of A, B, B, A. So the meter is typically anapestic, if I'm saying that right, which means da da dum, da da dum, da da dum, right? So that's your kind of how the meter would go on these things, right? How you're going to read them. So you have 3 stressed beats in lines 1, 2, and 5, and 2 stressed beats in lines 3 and 4. So for example, this will sound familiar, right? There was once a man from Peru who dreamt he was eating his shoe. He awoke with a fright in the middle of the night to find that his dream had come true, right? So you have the ba 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 ba, right? Da 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 da, right? That kind of thing, right? It's pretty common. That one at least I can remember, right, from when I did poetry back all those decades ago in school. An acrostic, interesting. I had no idea what the heck this was. Is a type of poem or word puzzle where the first letter of each line, when read vertically, spells out a word or message, which I think is super cool, right? Sometimes the letters can be taken from the middle or the end of lines, but most common form is the use of the first letter, right? So types of acrostic forms poems could be standard acrostic, which is the first letter of each line spells out the word, right? A double acrostic, which is both the first and the last letters of the line spell out words, which is super cool. Telestitch? Telestitch? I don't even know how to say that. The last letters of each line form a word, so just the last ones instead of just the first ones, right? And then mesostitch. The letters in the middle spell out a word down the middle. I've seen a couple of those, like on, I've seen them like signs and stuff, or like fancy, you go to the arts and crafts store, like a Hobby Lobby if you have one, and, you'll see like kind of fancy artsy stuff like that, you can hang on your wall. I don't know, that's most commonly where I've seen them, I guess. So, for example, if you were going to do an acrostic for the word hope, so each line of each phrase, each first letter of it would be the initial letters of hope, right? So H-O-P-E. An example would be holding onto dreams so bright, right? There's our H. Overcoming fear with light, there's our O. Patience guides us through the night, there's our P. And then every dawn brings hope in sight, there's our E. So H-O-P-E, it kind of spells it down. It's kind of more of a visual thing, but you can, if you're listening, you can kind of hear it, right? Thought it was fascinating. A senryu is a type of short Japanese poem similar to a haiku. I know what a haiku is, but no idea what a senryu was, so let's learn together. But instead of focusing on nature, it highlights human nature, emotions, or social issues, often with irony, satire, or humor. So the structure of a senryu is 3 lines with a syllable pattern of 575, like a haiku, but it's not mandatory in English. The theme would be human nature, emotions, or society instead of seasonal or natural imagery. The tone that is often chosen is often humorous, sarcastic, or darkly insightful. So an example of a senru would be rushing to the store, forgot my shopping list. Again, I wing it. It's pretty fun. Unlike a haiku, senru does not require seasonal reference, kigo, or natural imagery. It focuses more on people and their quirks, which is kind of cool. The next one that was in one of these prompts was called a rondel. Rondel. I think it's a rondel. It's a type of fixed form poetry that originated in medieval France. It is known for its repeating lines in circular structure, much like the rondeau, but with a slightly different rhyme and repetition pattern. So the structure of a rondel would be 13 or 14 lines, depending on variation. 2 rhymes throughout the poem, typically in an A, B, so capital A, B, lowercase a, B, capital A, B, lowercase a, B, A, capital A, B. So those capitals is where the rhyming pattern would return, if that makes sense. So you have the rhyme, line, rhyme, rhyme, line, rhyme, right? So, an example of a rondel would be, the golden sun begins to rise, with colors splashed across the sky. The birds take flight and soar up high, as dawn paints hues before my eyes. The world awakens in surprise, as morning light shines bright and spry. The golden sun begins to rise, with colors splashed across the sky. The gentle breeze in whisper sighs, as clouds drift softly floating by. The day unfolds with no disguise. The golden sun begins to rise. So that's kind of like the example of like the rhyming schemes in it. So it's, as you can see, kind of that circular thing, right? And kind of more definition of it. It kind of has like a song-like quality to it if you listen to it. So the last form that we'll kind of encounter is a sonnet. So sonnet is a 14-line poem with a specific rhyme scheme and meter, traditionally written in iambic pentameter, which is a rhythm of 10 syllables per line, alternating unstressed and stressed syllables. Sonnets often explore themes of love, beauty, time, and mortality. So types of sonnets, like Shakespearean English sonnets, have that rhyming scheme of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, G, right at the end. And it kind of makes more sense as you kind of listen to it. The structure of a sonnet in this particular example would be 3 quatrains, which is a 4-line stanza, followed by a rhymed couplet, or 2 lines that rhyme, right? A lot of Shakespeare's sonnets follow kind of this form. And then at the end, there's what's called a volta, which is a shift in thought, and that usually comes right as the final couplet, the final 2 lines, right? Or the final 2 couplets, right? An example from Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's leaf hath all too short a date. So you have the day, May, temperate, or I guess you could say temperate, short a date, right? Temperate, short a date. Man, it's loosely there. But that's kind of an example of that sonnet, right? A lot of Shakespeare stuff. I think there's 154 of them from Shakespeare specifically, but that's pretty much all the definition stuff. Now we're all caught up, and now we know all the definitions. We can get into it, and we kind of listen for these things, rondel, and all those type of things. It's kind of fun, right? Now that we know more about it, at least I think it is. Oh, yeah. I'm working on trying to get us be able to stream from my new booth. I was talking about it kind of on Monday. I just did a surprise, didn't announce anywhere that I'm doing a stream, Macabre Mondays. So I just did a quick one to kind of test out, make sure everything's kind of working, of which it wasn't. So kind of glad I did an unannounced test, right? If you're there, thank you for joining. But we're going to be doing, I'm going to try to get my phone to act like a webcam so that we can kind of do like a wireless thing so I can stream from that booth. But I got to work out how that's going to actually function, because I don't know if I can also rig in a way for you to hear the audio from it. That might be a little difficult, but I might be able to figure out. We'll see. Because they're separated by a pretty good distance. So I'm upstairs right now, and in my garage is where the booth is, where I had to build it at. So there's quite a physical distance between those two spaces. So we'll be using Wi-Fi, which should be okay. There's good signal in there. But it's the sound quality. I gotta figure out some way to hook up that mic so that you can hear it as well. And hopefully I don't have to use my phone as the microphone too, because I think it would sound kind of bad. But anyways, you don't want to hear about that. But that's kind of the stuff that I'm working on right now to maybe get that to work, and maybe we'll do some from the booth streams, which would be kind of cool, I think. So, new schedule, and I need to put this up on the kind of schedule channel below, is Mondays will be Macabre Mondays. Wednesdays will be the Whiskey Wednesdays, like always. Thursdays will be Throwback Thursdays, where I'm going to try to do something kind of cool with that, and more details and reiteration, really, of this on Thursday. But I'm going to try to record us doing a public domain book and put it up on, I think it's called LibriVox, where it's a not-for-profit kind of site that allows people to submit audiobooks for those that are seeing impaired. So I think that'd be a cool kind of way to not only, do something for the stream, get some practice, and read some stories that I really enjoy, and some stuff that I've just kind of missed out on, and then record that and get it up for someone else to enjoy as well. So I think it'll be kind of cool, and more on that tomorrow, because that's Thursday. So that'll be kind of fun. I think we shall see. So I might announce it, I might not. I kind of want to do a test drive of it and do kind of just a short little stream to test out the technical difficulties I'm going to have, and go from there. But is what it is. We should get into doing some poetry, shouldn't we? I think that's kind of what we're here for.
My
right?
God, are you still talking?
I definitely am still talking. Let's go to the booth and get that started, shall we? We shall. Let's go. See you there. Turn off the thing. There we go. Are we staring at the ceiling again? Oh, no, we're here. We're good. Sometimes the camera likes to stare at the ceiling. It's one of those where it'll do facial recognition and tracking, kind of like as you move, it'll follow you if you put it into that mode, which I think is kind of cool. I might see if I can maybe pick up one of those or switch this one out. Maybe. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Let me fire this up. I'm just thinking of some things off the top of my head here that might be kind of cool to have on the stream. Why did it fail? Open up the poems. Oh, it had to convert it to a PDF. Well, it gives me time to sit back and enjoy. Sit here and watch this thing spin with me, right?
What the dog doing?
What the dog doing, indeed. What is the iPad doing in this case? What is it doing? Operation failed. Huh. Can I just open it up directly from it? Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Maybe I have to... Hold on, let me try this. Let me close out that. Let me close out that. Let's try to open it up again. So I initially saved this as a Word doc and then to open it up in, there we go, now it worked. In the program that I use, iAnnotate on the iPad, it converts it to a PDF technically, and it was failing to do that. I think it's because I had too many tabs open, and it was like, can't do it. But it opened it finally. Yay! All right. Here we go. Let's jump into some of these. Let's start it up like Windows 98, shall we? All right. Whoops. I don't know why it did that. It's because I clicked on something. I gotta be able to see chat when I'm in here. There we go. All right. So, I think it's Dux Interior. Could be Deuce Interior. Not sure how to pronounce the X. DUXINTERITITO. Or ITIO. Dux Interitio. Interitio? I'm butchering that. I'm sorry. But anyways, this is their poem that they would like to share. It fit one of the themes, and this is starting at kind of the beginning of the week 2, so we're going back in time to last week when I wasn't able to stream. So here we go. Breakfast of Champions. There has to be a balance. Can't be too toasted. The butter won't soak right. Burnt is the wrong flavor. A triangle is acceptable. Uncut, better. Lick your lips. Eggs and bacon on top, but just a bowl of cereal. Colorful rings, and the sound of a wheel spinning. Newspaper rustles. The sun peeks over the horizon. Coffee smells bitter. Do you girls want to help in the garden today? I like that. Kind of did bring back memories of breakfast and breakfast cereals, right? And all the things that you hear in the morning, like catching your breakfast. All right, and this is Ryder Lee, the one whom organized all of this. Thank you so much. All right, this one's called When It All Clicked. Do you know what it's like to breathe fresh air after staleness? To have tense shoulders sag to rest, when the birds and trees saturate their colors, when the sun smiles with a brighter face? It all clicks. It all makes sense in that one flick of a moment, like a switch going off to on, dark to light. The awe Dorothy shares entering Oz is the awe that took my breath upon seeing your face. The same awe 10 years later, when I saw you down the aisle. Do you know what it's like to set the last puzzle piece in place? The tingling down my arms, the happy pools in my eyes, the fear to hide myself wash away? Never had I known the universe's fruitfulness. Never had I known true cherishing of another soul. Never had I known my own self-worth and the permission to be free, me, until I met you. Aw, that's nice. I like that. All right, and Ryder Lee again here. All right. It looks like we have a couple Ryder Lees in a row. I think I gathered like some of these like as they were posted chronologically. So we're going to have kind of the same poet going in order, multiple kind of poems in a row as it were like here. So not that it matters, but okay. As it should be. Faces around, mastered in loving you, as you. Short but sweet, love it. Another one by Ryder Lee. It's a senru about cats. Here we go. To love and to tolerate. Soft child healing purrs. You complete the family. Wait, must you puke there? That is fantastic. That summarizes cats very succinctly in a fantastic senru. That's great. Must you puke there? I am not the first one to say it, nor will I be the last, but the sound of a cat or a dog puking makes an effective alarm clock. You know what I mean? You capture it, you put it as your wake-up tone, guaranteed flying out of bed. You know what I mean? That captures it so well. I love that. All right. We're going to have an ad break here in about 1 minute and 50 seconds, but we can get through quite a few more poems, I think, in that time. So let's press on. This one from T.J. Henry, entitled Journey. In lands untold, where shadows creep, a hero stood through storms so deep, not crowned in glory nor praised aloud, but in the heart a truth unbowed. I will not hate, the hero swore. I'll seek the truth and nothing more. Love is far, but I have learned respect for self my soul has earned. Through battles fought and nights of cold, the hero's spirit fierce and bold. Not love, but respect they choose to find, a quiet strength, a peace of mind. With every step a road unsealed, an adventure vast, the fate revealed. Determined heart with courage bright, to learn, to grow, to stand and fight. Great stuff there, Mr. T.J. Henry. That is fantastic. I love that. I love the little bit of like dialogue, like right in the middle there too. It adds like this extra little element to it. It leads itself to a masterful D&D campaign, if you will. All right. And then we're going to have an ad here in 23 seconds. So I'm just going to sit back and enjoy my beverage. Hopefully you're enjoying your beverage tonight too, as we wait for this ad break to kind of go by. Then we'll jump back into it with some spicy fruit salad poems, a whole bunch of them in a row. So we're going to get a whole bunch of fantastic poetry from the same, the poet here, as it were. So ad break starts now. And we will wait. I wonder why my ad timer broke. Interesting. It worked on the Twitch thing, but it didn't come up on my, we didn't get the Old Spice jingle. Interesting. So we'll go ahead and wait for just a minute here, and we'll dive back into it, and let's give it a minute and a half, because usually what? Minute and a half, 2 minutes, right? So let's give it about that time, then we'll jump back in with some spicy fruit salad poems. And if you're just joining me, cool thing is, when we do these ad breaks on Twitch, if you're watching on YouTube, you're like, what are you talking about? There's no ad here. Which is fantastic for you, but on, there you go. There's the warning that we're about to start. Boom, right there. Okay, so Twitch gives me kind of a pre-warning, and it doesn't exactly dial down to the second that it is, but when it actually kicks off, my Old Spice jingle lets us know. So, ad break ends in about 1 minute and 15 seconds. Okay, so they're about 1 minute and 30. So, anyways, like I was saying, if you're on YouTube, you don't notice what these are, but on Twitch, if you're watching, one of the things that they do once you hit a certain level is you can enable ads, which does, if people watch them, brings in a little bit of revenue for your channel. It's not much. I have never collected a dime off of it, nor probably will I ever. But if I do, great. But it's kind of one of those things that's like, do you turn it on? Probably. It's the smart thing to do. Is it annoying? Absolutely. And the only way around it is to either like subscribe to the channel that you're watching. If you subscribe to Amazon Prime, you get a free one you can use, which you can use on anyone, and subscribe to them with just because you've linked those two accounts together, which is kind of cool. Gives you a free sub, and then you get all the benefits in that channel on Twitch for that. Or you can subscribe to Twitch Turbo, and then you don't have ads on any channel. I don't know how that works. I think like if you're Twitch, I think it's called Turbo. Could be wrong. Could be confusing the Discord thing. Anyways, it's some kind of subscription fee thing. But I think if you're in a channel and it has ads, there's some kind of like, it counts as you watching ads or something like that. I don't exactly know how that all works, but could be wrong there too, but is what it is. Anyway, I think we're back. The ads are all over. Thank you very much for sticking with me through those if you did. And let's get into some poetry again. Hopefully you're enjoying the poetry tonight and you've learned a little bit at the beginning of the stream. If not, check on YouTube. You can go to the VOD and check for this Whiskey Wednesday's poetry stream and learn what all these structures are, these cool, like, fascinating things about poetry that we learned up front. There you go. YouTube.com/@, like the little @ symbol, 456. There you go. All right, let's jump back into it. Spicy fruit salad. We have a haiku here. I think it's called Hollow. The forest cries out. The silence that follows me echoes emptiness. Nice. Kind of creepy. Love it. All right. We have the day 2 prompt, which is an acrostic, if you remember what that is from the beginning of the stream there, entitled Porcelain Promises. Clockwork thoughts tick endlessly inside. Outward smiles hide what lurks behind. Numbness spreads like winter's frost. Shadows dance with what I've lost. Underneath my porcelain mask, midnight whispers of what was asked. Echoes of promises I can't keep. Deeper still the void drinks deep. Nice. Day 3. This will be a Senryu. Senryu. Asher's Smile is the title of this one. Goofy grin so wide, tongue hanging sideways with joy, my four-legged friend. Aw, it's about the puppies. I love it. A haiku here called Procrastinator's Haiku. I think there's a little story about that one. Okay, you could probably guess. Time is running short, but Poetry Month goes on. Enjoy these brief words. Well done. Nailed it. Well, that is fantastic. I love it. I love it. All right. For day 5 here, again, Spicy Fruit Salad is the poet here. For day 5, this is the Rondel, if you remember that, or Rondel. I think that's it. But not following the specific prompt that was there, and that's fine. And that's something, too, to point out. These are suggestions to get you there you don't have to follow them. They're more like guidelines than rules, right? This one's entitled Secret Light. The darkness holds a secret light. Through ancient woods I make my way, as shadows dance and spirits away, as spirits sway, when fear and hope both burn so bright. Despite the endless winter night, along the ancient hidden bay, the darkness holds a secret light. Through ancient woods I make my way, where dawn transforms the world to white. As morning birds begin to play, while sunbeams guide me on my way, to greet the day with pure delight, the darkness holds a secret light. I like that one. I goofed it up, but it's good. I like that. Ronald's, man, I love that whole kind of circular thing. It's cool. And back to Ryder Lee here. Okay, and then, so we're going through. Okay, so, all right. So they're not in order. Not that the order matters, but this one's entitled, She Only Knows Her Creed. The child knows not how to concede. Resilience flares in her veins. A light grants her power to reign, her words woven into a creed. She tends to society's weeds, planting a love far from a bane. The child knows not how to concede. Resilience lives in her veins. She rises to take the next lead, hammer in hand to break the chain, her song an inspiration to gain. So all voices one day are freed. The child knows not how to concede. I love that. All right, and then this one is entitled, To Me with Love. The greatest mistake a life makes is preventing forgiveness and love. Ooh, I like that haiku. That's a good one. I love it. All right, this one is by Mike B. Oh, and it's about the doggos. This one is in memory of Murdoch. Murdoch, a Labrador retriever. troublemaker Murdoch, as irregular as a clock, covered in chocolate and cinnamon, from otter tail to blocky noggin. He sleeps and wakes, then eats up his plate. He runs with cow-licked rump for a ball, until he drives me up the wall. He wants out, then back in. He grabs a rope from the playbin. He barks at any noise. You might notice he has no poise. He sleeps and dreams of a chase. Feet jerk, legs twitch, tail smacks apace. Whimpers, whines, then hackles rise. A soothing voice stills his cries. Aw, but the doggo. I love that. That's awesome. It's like all the things with your with your dog, right? The sleeping, the eating, the playing the ball, and this was good. I think my favorite part is the last little bit there. He sleeps and dreams of a chase. Feet jerk, legs twitch, tail smacks apace. Whimpers, whines, then hackles rise. A soothing voice stills his cries. That's amazing. Captures it to a T. Great job. Ryder Lee. Okay. Ooh, the 100-word bonus challenge. Got 75 words out of it. All right. So this one's entitled, Good Night, My Universe. The stars above, grass bed below, the trees surround, fireflies aglow. In stillness breathe, crisp air of life. In stillness here there is no strife. The moon beacons a mother's smile, and words of rest, be still a while. For life breathes on and finds a way. I'm taught to see toward a new day. The world is me, and I am it. I lay in bed, my soul is lit. Nice. I love that. That's good. I love so between each one, when I gave like a little pause, there's like a punctuation mark, like a period to give you a pause, then go into the next one, I believe. And I like it. It kind of breaks it up in a really cool. I really like poetry. I don't know why I haven't read more of it. It is fantastic. Let's see here. Glitch'em, Whiskey Wednesday. Honestly, that's one I haven't heard before. Well, welcome. I'm glad that I could introduce you to Whiskey Wednesday. Whiskey Wednesday is basically when I usually read a first chapter of a author's book. I reach out on social media, and I just offered to read the first chapter for free. I'm an audiobook narrator and voice actor, and it's a kind of a good way for me to give back to usually the indie author community, and gets me a chance to get some practice in reading out loud and kind of like a live scenario. But this month is really cool in that there's a Discord channel for writers and streamers of said writers and readers. And the challenge this month for February was for poetry. So anybody that wanted to follow kind of the weekly prompts, there was a prompt every day for, the 5 days of the week. I mean, you can take your days off on Saturday and Sunday if you want. And you could follow the prompts if you want or not and just submit a poem every day. And that was kind of the challenge. And then if you'd like, you can have the different streamers that volunteer read your stuff live on their streams. So that's what we're doing for this month, is kind of all poetry focused. And haven't done really a lot of poetry reading except for what I was forced to read in school, but the more I read of it, especially this, it's kind of eye-opening in a way, and I need to read more, I think. I'm really enjoying it. So, and hopefully you are too. Welcome to the stream. And enjoy your beverage or whiskey if you're drinking one. And sit back, relax, enjoy the reading, if you will. Thank you again for joining, if I didn't say so. Oh, wow, I've honestly wanted to voice act since childhood, though I've never done it yet. Jump in. There's only one way to do it, right? And that's to get the practice. That sounds amazing. I might have to join. You should. I can give you the details of it, too, if you want to join the Discord. It's actually, it's on when I go back to my desk, because we're almost done here, I'll pull up the Discord channel for it. And if you want an invite, let me know. I'll invite you to it so you can participate if you want. Been writing short stories for around 5 years now. Okay. And I'm only trying to get better. That is awesome. Keep it up. I read a lot, but I tried writing a couple of times, and I have a newfound appreciation for writers because that shit's hard. I can read well enough, and I've read enough to know when writing is not great and my writing is not great. So my hat's off to you, because it is hard to convey those thoughts onto paper in a way that makes sense, right? And it's not terrible. I tried to do the whole, what was it? In November, they have the NaNoWriMo, where you like just write like 50,000 words, like a novel, right? I tried it and then got like 20,000 in and went, oh man, this is terrible. This can never see the light of day. And I stopped and went back to reading audiobooks. I think that's where I stopped. Maybe one day I'll return to it, but you writers, fantastic stuff. I don't know how you do it. Much respect. As for voice acting though, just jump in, do it, right? How I kind of got my start is jumping into like free productions, like audio dramas. There's tons of Facebook groups out there that are always like having auditions out there for productions, and it's a free way to for them to get actors and kind of tell their story, and it's a good way for actors to get practice acting, which is all what it is at the end of the day, right? It's voice acting. Even audiobooks, it's voice acting. So yeah, and then Twitter or X or whatever the heck they're calling it now, they're always having casting calls for things like that too. And Casting Call Club is another one. They have a lot of anime fan dub on there. If that's something that interests you, I would check that out. And some other projects on there too occasionally. Very few paid projects, and the paid projects that are on there get swamped with hundreds of auditions because it's, paid. But that's kind of the world of it, right? But yeah, just jump in, start doing stuff, because it's the only way that, it's ever going to happen for you. And good luck. If you ever want advice, let me know. You're also a huge reader. I've read 17 books in 2025. Good on you, man. I wish I had like time to read that much like anymore. It's weird. Like after starting audiobook narration, it's like I have less time to read because usually I'm like working on an audiobook, so I'm reading something, but it's for the most part not something that's like I've chosen to read for fun. Not to say that they're not fun to read, but it's not something that I like actively went, ooh, here's something I'm into, I want to read that. It's more like that thing's gonna pay me money, right? There's a little bit of a difference. Not that the stories aren't bad. There's one that I just finished. It's coming out here soon called The Second Bride, and it's right up my alley. It's a second book in the series, although I'll be going back and doing their book 1 for them as well, and the rest of the 5-book series. But we started with 2, long story, but to make it short, that'll be coming out here soon, and it's like about angels and demons and that kind of thing, and that's right up my alley. So I loved reading that anyways, but just to read for fun, I don't get to do a lot of that anymore. Although I did just finish Brandon Sanderson's what is it called? Stormlight. I think that's the first one. I read the first one of that series. Or was it Kings something? Oh man, now I'm failing to remember what it was. Finished it a little bit ago, but fantastic. I need to dive into more of that, and there's tons of those books apparently, so I'll be continuing down that path whenever I get a chance to read. I would have thought the complete opposite. If that's up your alley, Good Omens is a good book and show. Good Omens. Okay, I will look into that. All right. Book and show. Is it on like Netflix or something? You mentioned a show or Hulu or something. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, it's like the occult and angels and demons. I don't know why I find it so fascinating. I'm not like a super religious person myself, but I find all of that kind of stuff interesting. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. Just one of those genres I really enjoy. So when he approached me with the book, I was like, heck yeah, I'll do it. And yes, I will do the whole series. It's actually really cool. So he's how it starts off is there's a private investigator, and the private investigator is a man named Cain. The Cain from the Bible Cain, that Cain and Abel, the guy that offed his brother. If you're familiar with that biblical story, it's that guy, but he's been given this like protective mark that protects him, and basically he lives forever, with the caveat of he always has to wander. He can never stay in one place for too long. I mean, he's kind of commanded by the higher power that be, if you will, to wander. But he's a detective, and he solves mysteries, basically. Like, you know, like police departments will like hire like psychics to come in and do like help them out with certain cases. He's kind of like that, but he deals specifically with this particular police department solving murders and crimes that happen to do with angels and demons, kind of on like the down low, if you will. He's in with the sheriff of this one city or this one town, but it's super interesting. It's like it just feels that it scratches that itch, I guess I could say. I don't know where the show is, but I also like the writer's style in writing. Okay. Though the particular writer is in trouble right now. Oh. Is that book The Crying Season? No. It is called, the book that I just finished that'll be up on Audible here soon is called The Second Bride, and it's the second in a multi-part series of the Wanderer series. Can't remember what the first one was called, but it's all the Wanderer series. It's Kurt Dyer is the author. Pretty good. I like the story and his twist on the angels and demons hierarchy and all that kind of stuff. He gets in there quite a bit, and you know, without being too verbose, does a pretty good job. I think it's a good story overall. Leaves you wanting more, which is at the end of the day what you want, right? Right. I'll have to look that up though. Good Omens. Okay. I have to write that down when I get back to the desk so I remember. I got to leave everything on like a note nowadays. Otherwise I don't remember. Too much going on. All right. Let's jump back into the poetry here from the community. Dux Interio, or Deuce Interio. Interito. I'm butchering his name. Not bad, dude. So we're jumping back in here with his submission for this particular entry. It's entitled Book Nook. Curled in a blanket, soft and fluffy, like the cat in my lap who lazily watches. Water dripping down the window, her purr louder than the crash of thunder. My fingers scratch between her ears, then turn a page. Meanwhile, I am a million miles away in a world that doesn't exist. If I could enunciate. I like that one. So we're talking about cuddling up with the kitty. I think Dux did the one earlier too about the dog. I believe the Labrador. Oh no, that was Mike B. did the Labrador Retriever one. That one was a good one as well. I like that. All right. Let me scroll back down to where we were. Spicy fruit salad. Another couple entries here. Creepy poetry. Also another thing I'm into. The horror genre. I read short stories. I'm a narrator for theotherstories.net. And it's actually really cool. I do a show on Mondays here on Twitch and YouTube called Macabre Mondays. I just started it. And it's where I'll be reading a lot of short horror fiction. On theotherstories.net, that's what it is. Every month or every week, there's a new episode. But the month has a theme, like AI or robots or aliens or whatever the case may be. And they actually take submissions in from writers in the community, on Facebook, whatever. You can go on their website, submit your short story for that theme. And if it gets accepted, they'll take it. A narrator like myself will narrate it. Their sound design team will take it, clean it all up, add some sound effects, layer in some music, and do a full production to it. And then it gets read and thrown up on the podcast. On all the podcast places, Spotify, Apple Music, all that kind of stuff, right? But it's really, really cool. I've been doing it since about 2015 for them. And I'm really into like short horror fiction too. So the horror stuff is like right up my alley. But if you haven't checked them out, theotherstories.net is absolutely fantastic if you're into that kind of thing. And if you're a writer, a great way to kind of work on your writing and get it showcased and read out loud, which I think is like super cool. Like hearing your stuff just being produced, not just read, like full on production, music, sound effects, everything. Really cool opportunity if you're into it. Again, Spicy Fruit Salad. Let's get into their poem called Infested Pages, and this will be a free verse style poem. Periods morph into ants crawling up my arms. My journal bleeds ink like honeydew, drawing them to feast on confessions. Letters become beetles, clicking as they fall to the floor. They gather my scattered thoughts, rolling them into dark, perfect spheres. Words turn to wasps, stinging my skin. Each truth I wrote becomes a barb, building paper nests from my pages. Sufficiently creepy, I like it. Ryder Lee, who actually organized this entire thing, check out her channel if you get a chance. Fantastic writer. And she does a lot of writer, like, what are they called? What's the word? Like work sprints, kind of. There's a word for it, and I'm drawing a blank. Where you can kind of work along with her, where, you know, it's just kind of music in the background and you can kind of set goals for yourself and you do a sprint of work, then you take a break and talk and then go back to working. There's a term for that. I can't think of it, but if it comes to mind, I'll let you know. Pomodoro, thank you, Spicy Fruit Salad. If I would have looked over at chat, I would have had the answer there. Pomodoro, thank you. But check out Ryder Lee's channel. Hey, Spicy Fruit Salad, we're reading a lot of your poetry here, and it's fantastic. Fantastic. Hopefully I'm not butchering it too bad. It's the whiskey. That's what I blame. But we were talking at the beginning of the stream here about all the different like structures of poetry that I had no idea about until I had to like look them up. What's a rondel, if I'm even saying that right? And like I knew what a sonnet was, but you know, what's the technical breakdown of a limerick? Like I've heard one before, but what's the actual structure? So it's kind of cool. It's kind of fascinating. I'm learning a lot and I'm super enjoying all of this. Thank you so much for writing this and submitting it for us to read, because it's absolutely fantastic. So trying to spread the word. Let me check back in with chat here. Interesting how cats are chosen for calmer settings and not so much dog. yeah, because dogs have that energy, right? They want to go fetch the ball. Although I've had some dogs that are the low-key kind of almost cat energy, you know, but zoomies, right? Zoomies. I've also been running horror for around 3 or 4 years now. Okay, I'm slightly changing genre now. Okay. If you're interested in submitting your short stories to theotherstories.net, it's a fantastic, just the creators of that, everybody that's on that production team is absolutely fantastic. There isn't a bad writer or narrator or producer in the whole bunch. They're all super, super awesome. And they've been doing it for years now. So there's that too, right? But yeah, fantastic. Little podcast there. Check it out if you're kind of into that stuff, or if you want to submit your stories. More importantly, you have to go on their website and submit it. And then, like I said, so each month they'll do a theme, like, you know, octopuses or something. And then you'll submit your story about octopuses. That's a short story. They have like their requirements on the website. I don't know what like the word requirement is or limit is, but it's on there, I'm sure. But it's a super cool kind of thing if you're into that. So check it out. No, of course you don't butcher them. Well, thank you. Only just popped in maybe 15 minutes ago. Okay. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining. Limericks are a bit tricky. Yeah. All of this kind of seems a little tricky. Like haikus, like I still have to do the whole, like when you're counting out like the syllables, I still have to do the hand clap thing, you know, like this is in a spotlight. Like I can't just count the syllable. I have to clap it out, you know, kind of thing. And I probably get it wrong half the time. Looks over at my snoozing dog, right? But don't let that fool you. He is a ball of energy sometimes too. Oh, yeah, zoomies, right? Zoomies is the thing. Haikus are easy. I whipped one up as a joke while waiting in the car at Family Dollar. Well, I guess if you're like a talented writer or poet, I guess it would be easy. Maybe, with experience, that becomes easier. That sounds absolutely terrifying to me. I don't know, but that's why I don't write. I read. But no, all of these have been absolutely fantastic so far. So good job, everybody. These are great. I'm really, really loving it. All right. I almost skipped this one. Ooh, okay, Ryder Lee, the one who was saying check out their channel. This is a limerick, actually. It's called Mightier Than the Sword Indeed. So notice the limerick format here. You are the muse with masterful verse, and I, the tool for words to disperse. I know that look, it's a new plot. Pick me up, put down those thoughts, but I'll spill ink on your fingers first. Ooh, I like it. Disperse first. Okay. I love it. Spicy fruit salad. Here's another one of yours. Awesome. A limerick as well. Confessions of a Streamer's Treat Jar. Oh, this is going to be good. I can already tell. I perch on a desk near the light, while viewers spend points with delight. The dogs know the sound, come running around, as treats make a tasty sight. That's fantastic. I love it. Paints the full picture. It really does. So I'm assuming you also stream as well, and you must have some kind of viewer point thing that they can spend to give the doggos a treat. Did I get it right? They know the sound of it and come running when they hear it now because they're so used to it. My husband said I couldn't because I had no paper and had forgotten my phone. Okay. So it was a challenge. Like, oh, you can't write a haiku? Oh, I'll show you. Good on you. Family Dollar, where nothing is a dollar, and the string cheese sucks. That is fantastic. And so true. String cheese. String cheese. It's my son is 12, and he takes string cheese in his lunch. And really, it's just an excuse for me to buy him string cheese. For him, not for me. It's an excuse so that I can have string cheese too. Let's be honest, right? Like, there's a reason I get him fruit snacks because I want fruit snacks. I mean, he wants them too, but really, I want fruit snacks. So, is what it is, right? Yes, I do writing sprints on Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons, and I have a stream dog. That is super cool. I'm gonna have to check it out. Remind me when I actually. That sound means an ad is starting soon, so I'll pause here until the ad's over. Follow. All right. I just like Kraft string cheese, and that's why Family Dollar has, and that's what Family Dollar has, or at least the one near me. Yeah, I mean, with string cheese, I'm kind of an equal opportunist. Like, it's cheese, I'll eat it, for the most part. I don't know. I'm one of those like that. I like all the weird cheeses too, like blue cheese and Gouda, and I even like Limburger. I had a buddy. Well, I have a buddy who used to live in Wisconsin, and his mom worked at the cheese factory there, the big one there. And I'd have her send me Limburger, and I love it, but it smells so bad I have to psych myself up to eat it. You know what I mean? Like it is bad. It's like burnt flesh and rotten feet. Like it's not a good smell, but it's creamy. The texture is amazing. The taste is fantastic and like just on the edge of sharp. But the smell is really off-putting. It's something you got to plug your nose and get past it, right? But it's good. It's good. I promise it's good. And I would, share it with the dog. And the dog thought it was good. So if the dog thinks it's good, it's great, right? Because they don't like weird smelling and tasting stuff. my story and I'm sticking to it. All right. I think we're done with the ad break and everybody's back. If you're watching on the Twitch streams there. Let me catch up on chat for a little bit. It's weird because the doctor put me on a new med and it changed my appetite quite a lot. Okay. It's really difficult to grocery shop for after that change, but I love cheese. Can't get enough now. It's always been like my weakness. I love cheese. Our first dog that my wife and I got, actually I got her the dog because we were both in the military at the time. I met my wife in the military, and we didn't want to have kids because, you know, you deploy all the time. And me personally, like, I didn't want to miss like all the first parts of that stuff, being deployed for like a year or something. So instead of having said baby, we bought said dog. And anyways, long story short, the chocolate lab was my cheese buddy. And we tried all kinds of cheeses. To this day, I can't we have this store out here in California called The Nugget. And it's kind of like, it has like a whole bunch of variety of different things, but it's a little higher price, so we don't get there a lot. But they have this amazing cheese aisle, cheese and bread. They do like the fresh baked bread, and so we'll get like one of those Pugliese, if I'm saying that right, bread kind of rolls, and then like a fresh thing of cheese. And you got to try them all. It's like Pokemon, right? Why not? So I've tried some fantastic cheeses. Tried some not so fantastic cheeses too, but those are pretty small and few and far in between because I pretty much like it all. So cheese is the way to go. Yep, the cheese tax. Oh no, that's going to be stuck in my head now. The cheese tax. The cheese tax. If you haven't seen that video, look it up. All right. Let's get back into some poetry. Let's see here. Oh, spicy fruit salad. What do you know? Speaking of, got another one of yours here. I'm going to skip past all this stuff. Okay, and this one is... Okay, that was the prompt. Got it. And the bonus was to make it rhyme. All right. This one's entitled Below the Surface. Free verse. There we go. Blackness binds sight, like velvet night. Muffled echoes drift through endless deep. Cold seeps into bone, chills to the core. Mineral scents float, dark and sharp. Brine fills my mouth, bitter and raw. Courage draws deep as I ascend. Sweet currents rise like ocean's prize. Ocean breeze lifts, salt air turns sweet. Warmth starts to flow, gentle currents glow. Weaves softly sing through water's surge. Sunbeams break through in dancing blue. Worth every mile, ocean's sweet smile. I like that. Below the surface. That's awesome. Really get the feel of below the surface. It's fantastic. Good job. All right. Oh, and we're almost at the end here, but that's okay. All of these have been absolutely fantastic. And then remind me when I get back to the desk here in just a moment to send you the link to that Discord, okay? So that you can get on there too. Last one, but not the least one, Ryder Lee again here to round us out, to finish us out here at the end with a haiku. Here we go. Entitled, It's Yours to Take. Your soul is a gift, and fear but a misled friend. Go meet the moment. I love it. It's kind of encouraging. All right. Okay. That pretty much wraps it up for the poetry part of Whiskey Wednesday. A short one, but a sweet one, I think. Fantastic stuff here. And we'll go back to the desk and we'll finish it off. And then, hey, maybe we'll go raid somebody that's reading. So stay with me here for just a moment longer. Meet you back at the desk. I'm coming. I'm on my way. All right. Nope, I have. That's why I put the music notes up. Oh, okay. All right. The cheese tax. Yeah, it's a cheese tax. I don't make the rules, but the facts are the facts. And when you're a cooking, you gotta pay the tax. The cheese tax. One little more. One more. Because we gotta round it out, right? Gotta be even. It's the way of things. That is the way of things. And what are we drinking? If you missed it, Four Roses, because it's kind of like Valentine's themed, because it's February, right? It's February. You got to. It's the Four Roses. And it's fantastic. And it's cheap, which I like. Yeah, so let me give you, are you still here? Let me, Glitchum, let me send you, I'll just shoot it to you in a whisper here if I can. I think I can give you an invite to the same page Discord so that you can do the poetry, the writing, the streaming thing if you'd like. Invite people. Your invite link. Okay, can I? There we go. Okay, I think I got it right. So here's an invite link to that. Hidden, use the copy button. That's not. Copy. There we go. Like, that's not helpful. It just pastes hidden, use the copy button. 7 days, generate a link. Copy. Why is that not working? It's like literally just, it's literally copying to the clipboard, hidden, semicolon, use copy button. That's not helpful, Discord. What is wrong with you? Oh, maybe it's because I'm streaming. Let me disable that mode real quick. Then do that. Yeah, that's what it was. It was because I was in streamer mode. All right, sorry. I figured it out. There's the invite there, Glitchum, if you're interested. There we go. Yeah, I did that when I was streaming too, yeah. You caught on a little faster than I did. But yeah, it puts it in that like streaming mode when you turn on ABS. And anyways, there's the there's the invite link. You can use that from Fruit Salad, or I just messaged you that there to check it out and join and have some fun and maybe get your poetry read live, or if you're a streamer, do that too. And I sent you a follow there, Spicy, as well. So I'll check out the next time that you're streaming. I'll have to check that out. All right. I think that pretty much does it. We'll go ahead and raid out to a fellow writer here in just a minute if some are on. You're welcome for the follow. Absolutely. So, what do we have coming up here next week? So I just started this week, kind of filling in the rest of my schedule, and I need to edit the information down below to reflect that in my schedule. But tomorrow I'm probably going to do a nice short little kind of test stream of Throwback Thursdays. But going forward, what you will see is Mondays, we're going to have Macabre Wednesdays, where I read horror fiction, probably mostly short horror fiction from the other stories, because I have hundreds of those stories I have access to those and can read them, and they're all fantastic from fantastic authors. And then Wednesday, Whiskey Wednesdays, as it were. And then Thursday, Throwback Thursdays, which I'll explain a little bit more tomorrow, but the basic gist is I'll be reading a public domain story that also will be trying to record it in audiobook format live with all of you there. And then we're going to be taking that recording and submitting it to, I think it's called AudioVox, which is a not-for-profit that you can submit your audiobook recordings to for those that are seeing impaired, so that they can also enjoy those stories as well. So I think it'd be kind of a good way to use that time on stream to be productive and kind of give back again, which is kind of the thought of the Whiskey Wednesdays, and why not keep doing that going forward on Throwback Thursdays, you know? So yeah, that's kind of the theme, and that's the idea. On 6 p.m. PST on all of those days, just to make it easy. I was doing them at 7, but my East Coast friends, that's getting a little late. So tried to bring it back an hour for y'all, which is proven challenging this week, but I'll get it down. I'll get into a flow. It won't be a big deal. And then here eventually we'll be streaming from the new booth that I have, a professional booth that I saved and pinched pennies for to bring up my audio quality even more by Studio Bricks. And I'll be actually putting a video out here soon once I edit that all together on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/@4fife6, just like my Twitch channel here. And I'll be kind of spelling out the whole process from ordering it, how it was to build it, really easy spoiler. And then some little things to know if you're thinking about ordering one too, some things that I learned kind of throughout the process, like what does that power inverter do and what are the correct settings? I got you. But fantastic booth, can't say enough good things about it, but that video will be coming out soon on the YouTube channel. So enough yapping. Let's find somebody, shall we? That we can kind of send the love their way. And let's see here. Let's look at the old friends list here. Who do we got? Who do we got? Who do we got? Let's expand it. Oh, they're not reading right now. Actually, they're doing a co-working stream, so maybe we'll go there. Another voice actor and audiobook narrator that's here on Twitch. We might go there. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Fantastic. You might know them as well. They've been around for quite a bit longer than me. As far as VO, here we go. Set that up. Fantastic streamer. Great voice actor. So we're going to be going there in just a minute. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope to see you tomorrow if you can join, or at least next Wednesday for the next Whiskey Wednesday. Oh, you were there earlier? Well, we're going right back. We'll go there and say hi. So anyways, I'll see you there. I'll hang out for just a little bit, and then I got to shut everything down and get the kiddos situated. But thank you for joining me tonight. If you joined, see you later on YouTube. If you're on the YouTubes, thank you for joining me tonight as well. And if you're watching later, hi. We're going to another channel on Twitch. Won't make sense to you, but if you're on Twitch, it will. See you there.